Enterprise, Scott here, sir.
Scotty, put the ship's phasers on stun. Fire a burst in a 1-block radius around these coordinates.
Right away, sir. Scott out.
Phasers on stun, or not. So we're going to look at the phaser mod for this game. I'm just going to use the regular chess pieces and not the Captain, the Enterprise mod. So we're just going to, for now, don't worry about the Enterprise crew. We're just going to use black versus white. I reversed the position so they're on top, and it's very, very democratic here this time, not instead of Republican. But you can always change positions. You can always change positions. That's what she said or he said. Now, the purpose of the phasers is so that it gives the advantage to a player, for any player who is not able to take out, especially in multi-move chess. And you can go to my past video about multi-move chess. I'll put a link in the description. But you have multi-move chess in which you have up to 8 moves per player, unless there is a player, a king in check, then there's overlapping moves where players take over the other player's moves. But whether it's 1 to 8, traditional or not, you have this. Now this is this is the phaser. Shield is stun. Swords are attack or kill, in which a piece is removed off the board. And blank means a misfire. And all count as one single move. So what we have here, this is just going to be for the sample. I took them off of the rifle places and put them in the center spot. An important thing of note, before you even start a phaser mod 3D chess match, you want to make sure you each roll a 20 die. So let's say this is this small one here is theirs. So they get 1 and white one gets 3. Just the way I rolled it. So I rolled these 2 in advance. You have 1 and 3. So that means that these phasers, that one player could have, one piece could have 3, or one could have 2 and another one could have 1. It doesn't matter because all you're really doing is you're counting down. So let's say you have 1, now you have none. Or in the case of, if you have 3 on the white team, you have 3, 2, 1, and then it's gone. So this can happen at any time. You could have up to 20 per match. So 1 to 20. So you want to use your phasers sparingly. Now, let's try a little bit of this. So since the queen, let's say the queen wants to take out the knight. Now, the queen cannot move and get the knight in one move. It usually has to move like the rook or the bishop. Based on where it's positioned, it can take out the pawn, but let's say it just wants to take out the knight. The way you can do that is with the phaser. So what you do is you take this die and let's roll it around. And I'm going to just throw it randomly. That is a stun. Now, this is a stun. So what this means is that this, when an opponent is stunned, that means that you, being the white team, you cannot move the knight. So any piece that is stunned, knocked down, you can't touch that. You can't touch this. You can't do anything. So it's just down. And it's down, I would say, for the entirety of that turn. I would say, let's say, so if they're stunned for your movement and then their movement. So if you stun them on your turn, right? Then they go. After their turn or turns are over, then they get back up again on your turn because you're not moving this piece. So for two turns or 2 sets of turns between opponents, this piece is down. Oop, I'm dropping pieces, but this is a clumsy piece of shit after all. So if you were to get, let me see if I can roll a different, or let's say it's the rook's turn, right? Or actually, let's do it turn by turn, one turn by one turn. Let's say the pawn can shoot at the queen. So here, cross swords, the queen is killed, is disintegrated. Because in Star Trek, you can stun enemies or you can disintegrate them. Now, the rook can get back at the pawn because the rook can't easily reach the pawn unless you do about 2 moves. 3 if you're not thinking straight, but 1, 2, you can get the pawn. But that may take a while. So let's say you can roll it. Now here, you can take out the pawn. But let's say you didn't do that. Let's say you got a blank, because it's rare to get a blank. If you got a blank, it's a misfire, but that counts as 1 move. So whether you get cross swords, in which you take out the opponent, right? You get a shield, in which the opponent cannot move that pawn for his turn and then your turn. And once we go back to his turn, he can put it right side up. Or if it's blank and nothing happens. So that's how the phasers worked. And I just wanted to show a little bit of that. I'm going to try out covers in which I take domino pieces in which they covered the length of a square, and you could go behind covers and stuff. I'll show how that works later on. But that's sort of another mod on top of the Star Trek mod, and how multiple moves per opponent, and now phasers. So phasers on stun for now, and I'll be back with more.